Good morning all, camelbacktrading.org coming to you this Thursday morning, July 9th, and we are looking at the last 4 days of the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And I'm showing you all four again because we are in a 4-day balance. And right now, balance rules and possibly gap rules can apply this morning with just over an hour to go prior to the opening. Before I get to today's action, one thing I failed to mention yesterday is fairly important. Is yesterday to show you the uncertainty and a lack of conviction by either side. Now, when you're trading 9 wide, right, buyers and sellers are happy to do business at a level, and there's no problem with that. But when you go back and forth through the opening, 8 out of 13 time frames, that is total lack of conviction, totally inside of M period from the day before. So that's something I failed to mention yesterday, but was very, very important. Okay, let's get to today's action. So, pre-market volume is horrendous right now, only 375,000. Yesterday's volume as a whole was 54 million. To put that into context and perspective, during February and March when this market was ripping, we would do 40 million in M period alone. So volume is not confirming either side's moves right now. And that's generally what happens in balance because it's a market waiting for more market-generated information. So, right now, destinations for the upside. We'll still use yesterday's high of 316.30. Then the afternoon rally high of 316.56. 316.78. I'm sorry, nope, it's changed now. 316.98 is my pre-market high. 317.52 daily high. 317.68 daily high. Filling the gap at 318.22, a 54-point gap from June 11th, that's a gap the ES has filled. The reason the SPY has not is because we were ex-dividend and that played a big factor in its pricing. For the downside, if we gap higher, we'll use yesterday's high of 316.30. Then below that, we have today's pre-market low of 315.68. 9 wide of 314.37. Afternoon pullback low, 313.58. And yesterday's low of 312.70. So what's the game plan? Well, to me, early on, it's kind of simple what we're going to see here. If we gap higher, and again, you know the way I like to work a gap, if it becomes $1 or more, I'll usually wait because I don't want to jump in and see an inventory correction. If we gap high anywhere between 30 cents and $1, being long calls or being long is the play. If the gap fills, you're out on that trade, or even better, I would wait for M period because then we'll get into that in a second. So a call play to see either the gap fill or M period get accepted. If in the next hour this gap becomes much larger, then I'm either going to wait for a call play and or possibly take a put play around the top of the 4-day balance, right? Balance rules. So traders are going to do its work till it doesn't work anymore. So the top of that balance is 317.52 and 317.68. So it's fairly a good risk-reward trade because if you take a short anywhere around the 317.50 level, you're either out above this day's high, or if you want to see if that gap holds, against the gap. Now, that will change in B period if we start one-time framing up and get up to here and then take these out. Then that short play is a lot riskier because now more market-generated information will tell you we're one-time framing up and that gap is in danger. So that's a call play and a put play for early. Now, the big thing to me is if this gap fills, if we get accepted into M period, well, you know what's going to happen then, right? Now, M period yesterday had a fairly small range. It was under $1. But if you get accepted into M, you're going to most likely trade. The odds are very good you're going to trade M period's range, right? So those are a couple of early plays and what to look for prior to the opening. There's still just about an hour to go before the opening. Come join us at camelbacktrading.org and you're going to get up-to-the-minute updates on what we are looking to do. Now, chart-wise, again, just a weekly and daily. 2 days to go in a week. 315.70 is the top of this 3-week balance. Even though I'm encompassing this, it's going to be a 7-week balance pretty soon. That's pretty big, and it's a pretty large balance. So I'll break it down just a little bit. So 315.70 is the top of this 3-week one. That's important for the bulls to hold. Obviously, if you don't hold that, you can't get to the top of the 7-week balance. So we've been in and out of it the last 3 days. Again, we're above it this morning. I still think this volume has to start picking up to confirm this move, though. Has to. Yes, you can get grinded to death, but at some point, volume's going to have to start confirming these prices. So right now, the important thing still 315.70 level. Same on the daily. It's a 4-day balance, right? The goal is to get above 317.68, fill this gap, get accepted into this 4-day balance, which is the top of that other 3-week balance, right? That encompasses the 7-week balance. That's little baby steps, right? We have to take out this 4-day balance high before we can get into this gap again. On the flip side, sellers want to prevent that, get back, take out yesterday's low to get to the bottom of this 4-day balance. Yes, the 50's crossing over to 200. That means nothing to me. The move's already been made, just like it was made on the downside. That's not the important thing. The important thing is your market-generated information provided by the market profile. Have a great day trading, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.